Listen, listen to this term right now. 3 words. Cash is king.
I was just sitting there in a bank account, almost $100 before I did anything with it. And here's the cool thing, okay? We're vibrational beings having this experience called life. This is my frequency. I was raised in a frequency where we could barely put food on the table. My parents told me money doesn't grow on trees. That was the consciousness they had. I'm the first person in my family to graduate from university. I've far exceeded anyone in my family as far as my finances and my financial independence. And I've done it in a ratherly quick time. Right now, we're talking about an idea and concept that hasn't happened for you. But what happens is when you graduate, you start practicing, you start seeing people, you start increasing the frequency of who you are as a human being. This is what John told me. John the billionaire taught me a lot.
JB.
As you start moving towards the unfolding of who you are, you start to change, and you start to look at the world differently, and you start to see new opportunities. I promise you, you save $50,000, $100,000, you're gonna know exactly what you want to do with it. But you need the discipline to save it first.
Do they talk about this stuff in school?
They try, but it's poor.
And you know, I think the reason why it might be piss poor is not because they're bad people. I just don't believe they had real world experience with it. You know, something else let me say here. Growing up, I was taught that people with money are bad people. People who are rich aren't nice. And they've stolen and cheated somebody. And that's why they're rich and have lots of money. Does anyone else feel that way here? Good. One person. Okay.
No, it's one of you.
Raise that way. Okay, you don't feel that way, okay? So all of you started off, you what?
I said I grew up that way.
You grew up that way. And did you feel that way as a child? Okay. So most of you here started your life with an abundant set point that was way beyond mine. And I'll say what kind of says. What's possible for one is possible for all. And I'll say this, I'm just a simple guy. We read a couple books, put a couple ideas together, and if I can do it, I truly believe anyone can do it. I truly believe that in my heart. I know you guys can do it, but you have to focus on what you're doing. You have to focus on your core business. And what is it? It's connecting with yourself, connecting with the people, serving the people. You focus on that, all of this shit will take care of itself. I promise you.
Yep.
I promise you. I know we've painted a picture of reality, but I want you to leave inspired. I want you to know you can do it. I want you to know you can pay off $500K like that. When I was 18 years old, if someone would have told me in 20 years I'd be building my dream home where I am, I would have told them they're nuts. And Bradley talks about living life according to your values. People ask me how big my home's going to be. It's going to be huge because it's congruent with my values. Because you know what's big on my values? It's about having good people like you come to Vancouver and stay in my home so I can entertain you. So you can have an amazing experience there. That's why I'm building a 9,000 square foot mansion right on the water. Because that's congruent with my values. Because that makes my heart sing. I'll give you guys a taste and see what's possible. That may not be for you. You may think I'm nuts to do that, but that's okay. Because that's who I am. I was raised in 125 square feet. I've done my best to move away from that. And maybe one day I'll sell that and I'll downsize. It might be in 5 years, it might be in 55 years. I have no idea. But you have the God-given right to live your life however you want. And if you focus on the people, you can live a great, great, great life.
Brett.
Did you ever have moments where you lost that focus? You got caught up with the cash?
Dude, don't start asking questions.
All right, more.
Have you ever-
I know the answer to that. Yes, you did. Right.
Did you take a lesson from Tony Jansen? Ask your question.
All right, I know that you did. Right? You're
Yeah.
human. It happens. The cash it's intoxicating. I get it. How were you able to refocus, right the ship, and get back on track?
Are you talking about, say, like just when you are finished school and you have a lot of, say, or just anytime?
Anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Sure. I've got a pretty good example of that. I went through a divorce. This is what my attorney told me, my divorce attorney, when I met with him. This is around 1996. He said, you're a professional, you live and practice in Vermont, you earn an excellent income, and you're getting divorced. This is exactly what he said. I rarely use profanity.
I make up for that.
Yeah, unlike my dear friend here. This is exactly what he said. These were his 3 words. You are fucked. That's what he said. I was a guy that was saving $10,000, $12,000 a month. I was really focused. Vermont is a no-fault divorce law state, meaning there's no fault. It has nothing to do with actions or what you've done, or if you've cheated on your husband or your wife or any of that. And it's an equal distribution state, which means that you could be working 20 years in your practice, doing all the work, accumulating all the wealth. You get a divorce, you split the assets. He said from this point forward, it is damage control. You think maybe that could have affected my focus a little bit? It did, in a huge way. A huge way. And it took me several years to get refocused from that. But how did I refocus? Why did I refocus? You know why? Because after I got over the trauma of it all, I got back to my core values. And I wanted to be able to write a check to Life University, 6 digits, to support them when they were 2 weeks away from bankruptcy and closing their doors in 2004. I want to be able to support core causes. I want to support the orphanage that we went to yesterday. And we're going to make a donation. And we're going to support them. Why? Because we believe in them and what they do. And we can see the results of their actions. So I was out of focus for a number of years. Blew me out of the water. But I refocused. You know, it's just like chiropractic practice. Hey, Tony Jansen, are there some days when you're not as focused in the office as others?
You guys are really bad question.
Yeah. How do you refocus?
I have to meditate and do what I do every single morning.
That's right. So the answer is yes, we have that. And for me, it was several years. But it's an extreme example. Okay, here's another point I'd like to make. If you really want to be financially secure as quickly as possible, don't get divorced.
Unless she's more rich than you.
Yeah.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
You know, whatever's gonna get you to be able to focus on the people and what your job is to do there is what you're gonna do to get back. And you may not know what that is for you or the most efficient way to do that, but start trying stuff now.
Yeah, that's great. I know everybody's getting tired. It's been a long day. We've served lots of people today. Many of us started with it before sunrise hike.
The metaphor of life.
Yeah.
Guess what I'm doing first thing Saturday morning? I'm calling Arnaud and letting him know I know his mentor. Found your secret, Arnaud. It's all in the Baja.
But you know, it truly was a metaphor for life. Because there are times when you get lost. You refocus and you find your way. We got lost. But we refocused and we found our way. It happens to all of us, whether you admit it or not. As Dr. Sid used to say, I see the fields white with the harvest. The opportunities that we have as chiropractors to transform people's lives. Imagine this, and we've talked about it, Tony, you and I. We get to do something so amazing and people pay us for it. You've said that to me multiple times. It's amazing. And we get to do that pretty much for the rest of our lives. You know what? It sucks to be in chiropractic school. For the most part, you've got to deal with all kinds of crap. Yet you have the rest of your life to love, serve, give, and transform people's lives. We are truly blessed to be here and to be chiropractors. Thank you all for being